Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Me and Taylor just talked for about 40 minutes and probably should have recorded it all as an intro,
Yeah.
but
We were like, why didn't we do that?
I know.
I don't know. We were just catching up.
Yeah.
Life's been hard lately. I mentioned briefly last week that I was in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
My car's totaled. I don't know if we had that update last week, but officially she's gone. Rest in peace to Janice. And I've been looking for a new car. You know, the fun side of things, you would imagine.
Yeah. It's partially fun, right?
You have to look at the positives, you know?
Yeah.
At least I get a new car. Unfortunately, due to COVID, nobody, and when I say nobody, I mean capital, nobody, has any actual cars on their actual lot. Unless it's a hybrid, which I don't want that.
And that's because of COVID still?
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they all said. Because I guess because these like manufactured, the cars are being made like elsewhere, you know, like
Right.
Japan, Korea, South Korea, so they're getting like shipped here, and so the shipments are all still backed up from COVID, and like all those like boat accidents, you know,
What?
all that stuff, all the things. So that's still happening. So like all the cars, they're like you can buy a car, but it's not going to be here, and we don't know when it's going to get here. And I'm like, okay.
That is such a shame.
And
Oh
they're
my
like,
God.
you can buy a car. And, you know, I have this one that I found and I like, and I test drove a car that is the same car, but it's not it wouldn't be my car, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, if you just put down a deposit, we can get it to you. And I'm like, okay, when? And they're like, oh, we don't know. I'm like, oh,
They
okay.
don't know.
Well,
Oh no.
I would rather not give money before even seeing it, first of all.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's not like, honey, if we're not in the United States territory, I don't know if I can sign any papers quite yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been a lot. So, you know, thoughts and prayers out there to anybody else trying to buy a car right now.
Yeah, I know. Thoughts and prayers to you.
Send out, because honey, I'm gonna be walking. You're gonna catch me walking until further notice.
Oh my gosh.
Or Savannah's gonna drive me around, which is quite literally the opposite of what normally happens.
I know. Usually you're the one who drives me around. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a designated driver my whole life, but not without a whip. No longer. Yeah. But
it's
you know,
okay.
it's okay. Yeah, so yesterday, as of like recording this, me and my mom, you know, went to a dealership. We've been going every single day since the accident to different places, just looking at cars, what they have, which the answer is nothing, in case you're curious. But we had a really, really bad interaction at this one dealership. And should I name them? Yes, I should. But will I? No, I guess I won't. I'll be nice. You're welcome. You know who you are. But afterwards, we were like, okay, we deserve ourselves a little treat.
I mean, of course, obviously.
Deserve
a treat.
Right. Just needed the treat. So we were like, let's go to Chick-fil-A. And Chick-fil-A has the new flavor out of like a bunch of different varieties. And it's like cherry berry is the flavor. So they have a cherry berry.
Yes.
They have a cherry berry lemonade, a cherry berry sweet tea, a cherry berry sunjoy, which is a sweet tea and lemonade. And
I've seen those. So they just like put that syrup in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the cherry berry frosted lemonade.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. So I got two. I got the frosted lemonade and I got the sweet tea.
Okay.
Both were absolutely fire, buzzing it down.
Oh my God. Good.
Honey, it was so
I need to
good.
try it.
Yeah, I really want to try. I'm really curious about the sunjoy because I'm like, that seems like a lot of different flavors in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had the tea and I had the lemonade, but frozen. Both is so good. I can't describe to you.
I thought you were going to say that you got two and your mom got two.
Oh no,
But
my parents
no.
aren't very adventurous. They actually hated it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Damn.
they didn't like the flavor. They don't like cherry flavored things. Personally, I don't think it's very cherry. I think it's more berry than cherry.
Okay. See, I'm not always about the cherry flavor,
Me neither.
but I mean, I'm willing to try it. Like it sounds good.
Yeah, no, it is good. Honestly, and
Okay.
I don't like when things taste like medicine, and I didn't really think it tasted like medicine. So,
Oh, well, good.
yeah, the sweet tea, I think, I don't know which one is my favorite. I just like to say the sweet tea because I like a drink better than like ice cream. I need to
Yeah,
try
right.
the regular lemonade and the Sunjoy, and then I'll get back to you on my final decision. But right now, my number one is the sweet tea.
Okay.
It was delicious.
Okay, if you're done with your review, I want to submit my review of the
Okay.
the Sonic blackout
Oh yeah,
float,
the
I
eclipse
think.
slushy float, the
Yes.
slushy float.
Yeah. I think it was called the blackout or
Mm-hmm.
something. I
It
don't know.
was, it was.
But yeah, while you still had your car,
No,
you
wow,
had
it was the rental car.
yeah, the rental car. While you still had that car, we went up to Sonic to get a little treat.
Mm-hmm. Had to.
And yeah, we got the blackout slushy. It was, oh my God,
We pulled
awesome.
up into Sonic. They were like, we were like, can we have three of the Eclipse slushies? And they were like, unfortunately, we don't have any of the glasses. Which honestly, I expected that response.
Yeah, but that's also like half the reason we went is to get the Eclipse glasses.
Quite literally, because the Eclipse was
But
the next day.
yeah.
We did not get the glasses, unfortunately. And they were like, and we don't have the sprinkles that go on top.
I know. Oh my God, I was
Like,
disappointed about no
girl.
sprinkles, but
But I can't
it's
lie,
fine, I guess.
that was the best thing I ever tasted.
Right? I know.
I've been thinking about it nonstop since, and I don't even like ice cream or slushies like that. Also, I realized why it gave me so bad of a brain freeze is because it was ice and ice cream.
Yes, yeah. I didn't really get a brain freeze,
I
but
always do. It's like actually my fatal flaw. There's no way
yeah.
for me to not. I'll get it even if I'm drinking like ice water sometimes.
Yeah.
It'll kill me. But yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
definitely rate, personally, me, that Eclipse slushy float was an 11 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna stick with 10 out of 10, but I mean, I kind of agree.
No, 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 that
Like,
like,
I'll go back and get, like, I know that was a limited time thing, but I feel
yeah,
like I can recreate it.
we can definitely
You
recreate it.
know, I
Also, I
think
feel
just
like
like the
if we're,
grape slushy.
yeah, I think it was just grape slushy with ice cream
Yeah.
and like Cool Whip and stuff, but it was so good. Like the consistency, I don't know, it was amazing. I literally forgot we did that. That was
Yeah, I
fun.
know. I know. And then afterwards, more on brand for this podcast, we watched Ghost Adventures. Oh my gosh.
We did.
Hilarious.
We
Like the one
were,
episode we watched was so funny.
honey, we were cracking up. They are so unserious.
They're so like not serious. Like they try, like they are serious, but that's what makes it funny because like they're not like you have
Like,
to watch the show to get what we're saying because
yeah,
it's just they're so not serious about
they're,
what they're talking
no,
about.
no.
It's oh
Oh
my
my
God.
gosh, I wish we had that episode, but then all the episodes are messed up. If you like Google an episode, it's not actually the episode that it says.
Yeah,
Like it would
yeah.
be like, so we had to determine that. But it's, what's it called? Oh my
It was
gosh.
I mean, it was the Valentine's Day episode, but I don't remember
It's the
where
way
it
that we have said
was.
this place. It's like the, okay, hold on. I know half of it.
I feel like it starts with a W.
No, it's, so there's a first word. Oh, actually, I remember the whole thing because I said it probably 47 times when I was at your house. It's the Longfellow Wayside Inn.
Okay, see Wayside. That's where I was getting at.
Yeah.
Okay. Longfellow Wayside is.
Or
Yeah.
something along those lines.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Something
So
close to
look
that,
up
if
that
not.
episode if
That
you can.
episode is so funny.
It is.
We were so unwell based off that.
I know.
But
Yeah. I
yeah.
should have looked up that place, but I didn't.
Oh
I had already
yeah.
started another story. So
Yeah, in the future, the Longfellow
yeah.
Wayside Inn will be brought back up for sure.
Yeah. So do you have anything else before I get started?
The only thing I have is to please rate and review us on Apple
Oh, of
Podcasts
course.
and Spotify. But no, go ahead and get into your
Okay.
story.
Okay. So going along with, Ghost Adventures, this place was actually also featured on Ghost Adventures. It I did watch that episode as well. It was just as unserious. But
Of
anyways,
course, of course.
So this week I'm talking about a ghost town.
Ooh, love that.
Yes, and it's the ghost town of Bannack, Montana.
Interesting. Never heard of
So,
that place.
yeah. Yep.
Probably because
It's
it's a ghost town.
yeah, probably because it's a ghost town and probably because it's in the middle of Montana in the middle of nowhere.
You're right. You're
So,
right.
yeah, so it is actually one of the best preserved ghost towns in Montana. It's in Beaverhead County, Montana, if you know where that is.
I'm
I kind of
confused.
don't, but
I definitely don't know where Beaverhead, Montana is, but I'm
yep.
confused. I guess we'll get there. But what you
Okay.
mean by best well kept ghost town? Because isn't the
It's
point of
just
a
like
ghost
well
town
preserved.
well preserved? But isn't the point of a ghost town like nobody's there?
Well, yeah, nobody's there, but it's like the buildings are preserved.
But people are having to go there to preserve them, right?
Um, I mean, it's a ghost town in that nobody lives there, but
Okay,
people like
I got
visit.
okay.
You
That
know what I
okay,
mean?
heard.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yes. Yeah. So like, yeah. I guess I mean a ghost town. That just means that nobody lives there. I'm pretty sure.
No, you're right. That's
Right?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely
Okay. So this town it was established in 1862. So back in the day, along Grasshopper Creek. So that's fun.
cute.
Yeah, we love that. It was yeah established along this creek when gold was found in the area.
Wow.
So
I wish I would strike gold.
very honestly, this is like the typical moving out west to go mine for gold. You
Yep.
know, like
Yep.
old timey western, like
Literally.
what you would think of
I'm hearing a
exactly.
big old yee-haw in the background and
Yes,
like an
yeah,
eagle screeching.
yeah. Very American, very much old west.
Very.
Yeah. So miners, they rush to the area and search for their fortune, trying to get their gold in the gold rush. And this area, this town, it was actually named after the Bannock tribe. It's spelled slightly different than the town name.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's spelled different or what I saw was a typo. But I'm pretty sure it's Bannock and then the town is ACK.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I don't know.
Got you.
But anyway, yeah, it was named after this tribe that are native to the area. And it actually served as the capital of Montana, the territory, before it was a state in 1864 until the capital was moved to Virginia City, which is,
Interesting.
yeah.
I was gonna say I don't even know the capital of Montana.
Yeah, I should have looked up if Virginia City is still the
I
capital.
feel like
I
it's
don't
not,
know.
but I mean, who am I to say? What do I know about Montana?
Right, yeah, I don't know anything about Montana really either. It honestly, I do kind of want to go out there. It seems like a vibe,
Actually, my
you
friend
know.
did live in Montana.
Oh yeah.
So it's looking like I don't. Okay, it's either Helena or Helena. Montana is now the capital.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
But yeah,
Love that.
love that.
Um, so yeah, so I guess sometime in its history it moved from Virginia City to what it is now. But yeah. So at its peak, the town had about 10,000 people. It had three hotels, three bakeries, three blacksmith shops, two stables, two meat markets, a grocery store, a restaurant, a brewery, a billiards hall, and four saloons.
Honestly, that place was popping.
I know, honestly. And I think a church as well, but I don't know. I guess I didn't list that here. I don't know.
Interesting.
But one of the town's founders was Dr. Erasmus Darwin Leavitt. He was a physician born in New Hampshire, and he moved out west to become a gold miner. Like many people around that time, he was hoping to get rich. You know,
Yep, me.
yeah. Even though he's like a doctor, so I guess I mean,
Right,
aren't you already rich? Or
but like Grady,
yeah,
can't ever be too rich.
right, right. So although he went out west to like be a miner and he wanted to quit practicing medicine to like, strike gold, he actually did end up going back to his profession. And after helping found the town of Bannack, he moved to Butte, Montana, and devoted the rest of his life to his medical practice.
Interesting.
So yeah.
So did he not strike too much gold then, or he was just like, the miner life is not for me?
I guess not. He was like, actually, I think I'm a better doctor than I am a miner.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit easier. I mean, I understand med school's hard, but like mining is like a different level.
Right, yeah. It's like hard like labor
Yeah,
instead of like
literally.
brain power.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's one of the founders of this town. And then with the town established, they needed a sheriff, of course.
Obviously.
Got to keep things in line. So Henry Plummer, he came to town and he gained the trust of the people. And he was eventually elected sheriff.
Cool.
So unfortunately, Sheriff Plummer, he was not as innocent as he first seemed.
Shocker. Not.
Yeah, he actually turned out to be a hardened criminal,
Oh.
quote unquote.
Yikes. That's a big yikes. Nobody did a background check on him.
I know, right? Like back in the day, like it was probably so easy to do stuff like this.
No,
And
but
like
literally,
nobody's gonna know if the
no.
sheriff of a random town in Montana is doing bad things. Only the people in the town are gonna know. Like,
Literally.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's so easy to get away with stuff.
Yeah. Plus, without technology, I mean, you could do quite literally anything you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That like the thought of that just like
That's so scary.
it is scary, and I think about it sometimes, like,
Yeah, like
because
people are like, I want my privacy. Honestly, you can record me at all times. Like I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm scared. Like
yeah,
that. Like what if our sheriff was a hardened criminal?
I know, yeah, and they just like come and do whatever they want,
I know. Now he has
regardless of
power.
the law.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
scary.
yeah. So this guy, he had like a gang of people, basically, like his deputies,
Oh, his
people working for him.
entourage.
Yeah, so I guess just like the sheriff's deputies, because that's
Yeah,
a thing.
the literal
Um,
police squadron.
yeah, the police squadron, and I think other people as well. I don't know.
Oh,
He just had like this gang of people.
interesting.
And apparently they orchestrated hundreds of robberies and murders across his like territory, his area.
Wow, really
So yeah.
serving them people, aren't you, sir? That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. So they would just like rob people, murder people,
Honestly, if you were gonna stop at the rob, I'd be like, all right, robbing's not great, but like we can look past it. But the murder,
I
unfortunately, we're not
know.
looking past that anymore.
I know. Yeah. So of course the town, once they sort of tried, kind of like realized that this guy wasn't as good as they thought, um, a vigilante group started.
Bro, this really is the Wild West.
It is, and they took matters into their own hands. And honestly, it's just crazy to me that like, yeah, like back in the Wild West, out in the middle of nowhere out here, this town is secluded, and that's all they had to defend themselves is like, since the sheriff is bad, they have to team up against him.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
that's actually so scary. I don't that. Oh no, that would
yeah.
send me into a spiral if I had to do that. I would not. I would not survive the Wild
Well, I
West.
mean, you probably wouldn't. You're a woman, so
You're right. Oh, you're right.
your man
I don't know
would.
anything. Actually, I'm just in the house with my kids.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, so they took matters into their own hands, and in December of 1863, and so what year was this town founded? It was back in. So like this is like the second year that this town is.
Wow, it has not been.
Yeah,
She's fresh.
yeah, fresh.
She's fresh, and we're overthrowing the police
Yeah,
squad.
in 1863, the year after it was founded, the town miners, they formed the Montana Vigilantes, and they took Plummer and his deputies, and hung them without a trial.
Oh my God. Okay, they really took it into their own hands.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, they did.
listen, they had to do what they had to do.
I guess so.
I
I
guess
mean,
that's the ways of the Wild West.
as I keep going with this story, you might. I mean, okay, let me just keep saying.
I mean, I can
So,
imagine. It's not going to get
many
better
of
from here.
his, yeah, many of his associates were also hung with him.
Oh
Like his
wow.
deputies
Mhm.
were definitely. But then some of them were just banished.
Interesting. I wonder
That's
how
so
they went about that.
crazy. Like the banishment too is such a Wild West thing for me. Like
Right. You're actually
you're
banished. Like,
banished,
be gone. Like,
right?
you just have to start walking.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
actually me without the car.
oh my God, you gotta get a horse, just
I-
like they did out in the
okay,
West.
actually, I'm going back to the Wild West. I could
Yeah.
probably find a horse faster than I could find a car.
I mean, there you go. Um. So yeah, some of them were banished, but so this is where the story kind of takes a turn because historians actually have questioned this story and they're saying that maybe this story was like a cover up for the vigilantes, saying that like the sheriff actually didn't do anything wrong. They like maybe just didn't like him.
No. No,
Yeah.
wait, I was not
But
expecting
like
this.
who's to say? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, who is to say? First of all, we will know. I guess we will not ever know.
Yeah. So like he was quoted on like hundreds of people were killed by him and his crew, right?
Yeah.
But only 8 deaths were historically documented.
And
So I mean,
honestly,
honestly,
that's not
maybe
even that crazy for the police.
yeah, well, yeah, maybe they weren't documented though. Like, what if that was?
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But also, if that man really was not evil, that is so sad for him and his
I know.
deputies.
I know.
Like, if it
Yeah.
really was just a cover up for them, wow.
Yeah. So historians, yeah, they're like, well, maybe this didn't happen.
Yikes.
So
Don't like that.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Either way you spin it, it's like a crazy story.
No, you're right.
Um,
Neither way is good.
yeah. So fun fact about the vigilante group, one of the people in this group was Nathaniel Pitt Langford, and he was the first superintendent of Yellowstone National Park.
Oh,
So just random
wow.
fact there.
Wow. Yeah, I forgot yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So Henry Plummer, his ghost, and his deputies and all of his gang, their ghosts are said to be hanging around town still,
Oh,
and for good reason, because what if he didn't do it? Then he's really hot in the place. Yeah.
that actually is so sad because that
Yeah.
makes me, because, we kind of say, like, why, if ghosts are real, in this world, we're like, why do they stay? And some don't stay. Like,
Yeah.
why are
Yeah.
places haunted? And, like, most people argue it's because they're, like, unfinished business. So if that's the
Right. Yeah.
case, that's horrendously sad for them.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I feel like they would have unfinished business.
You're right.
Just being.
You're right. That is true. That is
Yeah.
very true.
So Bannack, it became a ghost town in the 1940s once mining stopped in the area. But also I heard that, or I read that on Wikipedia that the last residents left in the 70s. So I don't really know when it officially became a ghost town, but, back then sometime.
Yeah, some time ago.
Yeah, some time ago. Um, it, honestly, the 1940s might be a better estimate because it did become a state park on paper. It became a state park on August 15th of 1954.
What?
So, yeah, the area is actually like
That's
registered as a state park and
okay.
like a historic landmark.
That's why it's preserved so well.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I just had to get to it. I knew I had it written down in my notes
I mean,
somewhere,
I
but I was
said that
like,
I was gonna spoil it. Like, and it was just a
yeah,
question I had.
yeah. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think, do we have, we definitely have some like parks in North Carolina that are like, you know, landmarks like that, right?
Yeah, oh my gosh, what is it called? I'm blanking. The house we went to in Raleigh. Uh,
Oh, right.
it's
That's a state park.
mm,
It does start with a M.
yeah, Mordecai.
That might be
It's
it.
the Mordecai house. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know if it's a state park. It's definitely a park though. A historic.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
yeah,
just a historic landmark. I don't know.
maybe it's not a state park. That's crazy that they made it an entire state park.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool though.
And today, over 60 structures still remain standing,
What? Just
which
empty?
is that's a good yeah, that's a good amount. 60
That's a
structures for like
lot.
a ghost town. Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm I'm just like I'm just curious. Like, are there homeless people that try to live in there? Like, are there YouTubers that
Um
go and like explore these abandoned buildings? Like,
I don't know because like, you know, I'm pretty sure this town is not really close to other things, so it's like
they have to go out there, like in search of it.
yeah, they would have to like go out there and also like where are you gonna get your food and
Yeah,
stuff.
you're right. That's true. I guess they are
Yeah.
secluded.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's, you know, a problem or not. Or and also like they probably have park rangers since it's a park
True.
and they would like kick them out
Yeah.
probably. I mean, you can't just be living in a building like that, but
Yeah.
um but most of the buildings you can actually go inside, so that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll talk about some of the buildings. So Skinner's Saloon, that is where Plummer and his men they were hanged in the back.
Ooh.
So they haunt the area, you know, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And then moving on from that, I guess I only have one single line for that. Hotel Mead. So originally, this hotel was built as a courthouse in 1875, and in 1881, Bannack it lost its county seat status to a nearby town called Dillon, and the building sat vacant until 1890, when it was remodeled into a hotel.
Oh.
So this hotel it opened and closed a few times over the years, and one of the times it opened, it actually acted as a hospital for a short time.
Oh.
I feel like that was a common practice. Like
Definitely.
buildings would just be like, "Oh, now it's a hospital."
Mm-hmm. Especially like in times of war. They're just like, we need your
Yes.
house.
Yep.
Sorry. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a hospital now.
Yeah. Um. So this hotel has a few different, you know, a bunch of haunting vibes, weird stuff going on. So there's
Mm-hmm.
like cold spots throughout the building, just weird vibes in general, sounds of crying children,
Oh.
which yeah, love that. Strange EMF readings and like fluctuations.
Okay, I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that the land might be on some gold. Also, should we go out there and mine for some gold?
Well, I mean, honestly, I feel like they would have got it all by now, right? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I'm no gold miner.
We could go. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, so this hotel has one main ghost that haunts the area, and it's this young girl named Dorothy Dunn. She actually drowned in a dredge pond along the creek a long time ago.
Oh, sad.
Um, and if you don't know what a dredge pond is, it is like I guess when they're mining for the gold, they would dredge out the land and
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
big make a big hole and
Yeah.
then, you know, if it fills with water, then it's a pond. So
Yeah.
they were swimming in there.
Yeah.
Um her and some friends were swimming in there and she unfortunately drowned and did not make it. Her friend actually was struggling as well, but was saved, but she
Oh,
did not get saved. Yeah.
that's so horrible.
It is sad. Shortly after her death, she made her first ghostly appearance
Oh,
to her best friend who was with her at her
oh,
time of death.
that's
Yeah.
vibes. I'll come visit you first.
Yeah. Okay, good. There have been multiple sightings of her wearing a long blue dress on the second story of the hotel. And
Oh,
the reports actually often come from children. They see her.
oh no, I don't like that. I
I
mean,
mean,
it's not like she's scary, but like, ugh, I don't know. You know, it's still scary, even if she is just a
yeah,
girl that drowned, because I believe the children.
yeah, I know. And she's just like going and trying to find people her age, probably, right? And like hang out with
Right?
them.
She's like, I want friends.
Mm-hmm. So, one of the reports was a 7-year-old who reported that the ghost tried to talk to her, and she said her mouth moved, but no sound came out.
No,
So,
oh, and that's probably so scary.
I know.
Like that
Yeah,
kid probably ran away screaming and crying, and she's just like, I'm just actually trying to talk.
I know. Yeah.
But can you imagine the other side? Like you see a ghost, and then they're like trying to talk to you, and nothing is coming out of their mouth. Oh, I would be so scared.
Yeah, it is scary. Um, so she has also been seen standing in like an upstairs window, seen by, people walking down below. And also an unknown older woman has been seen looking out the window of of the hotel as well. And people believe that that's her mom.
Oh,
So her mom is there with her,
well,
that's good, right?
yeah. At least I hope that is really her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So moving on from the hotel, the general store is also haunted. It's haunted by apparitions and shadow figures just, throughout. Several shadowy figures are noted to linger in the old in this store, and they've been caught in photos and video. So that's cool.
Mm.
Their identities remain unknown though. So
Interesting.
they don't really know who's haunting it, but there are just like spirits in there, and people hear like voices too in here.
Cool. See, those
Uh,
haunting, I'm chill with.
are you? Just
Mm.
because there's no details behind it, or what?
Mm. I mean, would I be chill in the moment? Doubt it.
Yeah, true, true, true. Um, so the next one I have is the Bissett house, and this was like a house that was opened as a quarantine station for the sick children in town. Which is, never good because,
No, no,
yeah.
no, no, no. What some plague, I'm sure, was taken
Yeah.
over.
I know. Yeah, see, like, this always happens as well. Like, they just opened this building and just shoved all the sick kids in there. They're like, you know what? You're just gonna go to the quarantine house.
Right.
And
We're locking you in.
yeah, basically. Um, yeah. So there are like strange anomalies in photos of the house. There's also like voices of children heard around the house and around
Mm.
like just like the outside of the house too. And there's sounds of crying babies coming from inside
Oh, good.
because there's even like quarantine babies.
Stop. No.
So yeah, all of these, are speculated to be children that died in the house because it's a quarantine house.
Wow, that's so sad. Is the
Yeah.
quarantine house safe to go in now? Like,
Probably. I mean,
will I get the plague? I don't want the plague.
I don't think so. I think you're fine.
I don't think the germs.
I think it's been long enough,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say I'm no doctor, unlike
Yeah,
that
I
first guy
mean,
you were
yeah.
talking about.
I
But
know, yeah, bring him back. So yeah, like the town in general is just haunted. The main road to the smallest schoolhouse, there's apparitions seen everywhere across that, like just when you're going down that road. There's also visitors. Visitors will claim that doors of buildings swing open and slam shut without cause.
ooh,
Just ghosts letting themselves in and leaving.
yeah, wow.
And the most common spirit encountered is, of course, the sheriff. He's seen patrolling the town and said to linger close to the Skinner Saloon where he was killed, and also nearby the general store. He goes by there too. So yeah, that is the the town of Bannack, Montana. And I do want to mention again that it was on Ghost Adventures and it was on there in 2014. So,
Wow. And so how was that? Did they catch anything in the episode?
I mean, you know,
Anything notable?
just about as notable as any other episode.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So,
I mean, they are still going, so they're having many ghost adventures,
yeah, they are.
as
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
imagine.
Hmm.
That sounds fun. See, if I ever find myself out in the middle of nowhere, Montana, I would love to visit this place. Just because
I
I
know,
don't.
like honestly, it seems like fun to just go to a ghost town like this,
Right.
and where there's so many buildings still there.
And
Like
also,
that'd
like,
be
I
cool.
know, like those buildings are safe. Like, because I'm always down. This is not on the record. I'm always down to, like, go explore abandoned places, but, like, I'm scared the
Oh, I
floor is going to
know.
fall in, you
I know
know?
what you mean. Yeah.
So, like, knowing that this place is actually, like, kept up with and, like, safe, like, we can actually
Hmm.
walk around in it, like, that's cool. I
Yeah.
would like to do that
Yeah. Maybe we will one day.
one day. One day. Well, um, it's interesting how our stories, sometimes they go with each other. And it's funny because our stories do connect this weekend. I think you'll see
Oh,
a little bit
okay.
how. So I have for you the legend of the Hotel Henry. Dun, dun,
Okay.
dun.
Hotel
So,
Henry.
yes. So this week we are in Buffalo, New York. New York.
Mm.
And as I mentioned, so this is a hotel. But this hotel is not where our story begins, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to have to go back in time a little bit. But in early 2023, the Hotel Henry was actually bought out once again. And you'll understand this in the end. But today, the Hotel Henry is actually renamed to the Richardson Hotel.
Okay.
So there's going to be lots of names in this
Oh,
story
okay.
that are all like the same place because it's just been renamed a million times.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm going to call it the Hotel Henry because that is when things kind of happened. But just know today it is the Richardson Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
anywho, that is today. But like I said, we have to go all the way, jump in a time machine, and go back to 1880, which is, similar timelines, first of all, of our stories.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah, so it's 1880, and this is when the Buffalo State Asylum for the Insane was opened.
Oh, lovely.
And it was opened in one of the buildings that would eventually become Hotel Henry.
Okay.
Now, have you ever heard of an asylum turned hotel?
No,
I
I don't
think
think
I think
so.
we talked about a I don't know if it was an asylum or a penitentiary, but one of the two turned into apartment buildings. I think you covered that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we've seen, yeah,
But
these
I don't
buildings be
know
reused for something else, but
but I
I
don't know
don't think
about a
a hotel.
hotel. I know
Yeah.
right. So very interesting. So yeah, it was originally called the Buffalo State Asylum for the Insane, and then it was actually renamed to the H. Richardson Complex because I guess asylum gets a bad rep as a word overall because they're like, okay, everybody. It was known the asylum for the insane. Not great.
Yeah.
Not great
Yeah.
wording.
Yeah, I don't think we use those
No, no.
terms
No, no,
much
no.
anymore. Yeah,
No,
no.
no, 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 no. So then, yeah, it was renamed into the H. Richardson Complex because it's like on a big piece of land and there's multiple different buildings, similar to your story.
Okay.
So, yeah. Um, let's see here. I lost my spot. Okay, so, anywho, the asylum, when it was first built, it was built by an architect, and I didn't write his name down, but basically, this guy, he wanted to incorporate, like, architecture into the patient's treatment plans. So he like made walls curve to bring in like more airflow. So they could just like have more like go, like you know how they like get a fresh breath like outside, like
Yeah.
it would like cause the wind so that there would be like this constant air kind of running and just things like that throughout the whole place, which is
Yeah,
really
see,
cool.
I mean, that is cool. But, like, wasn't the cure for a lot of stuff like, oh, go get some fresh air?
No, literally. So that's why he was like, we'll just build it so they can always have fresh air
Right, yeah.
and then cure immediately. But unfortunately, that's not how things work. But that's how they thought it worked.
I mean, it helps a little bit,
It definitely
but
doesn't hurt, you know?
yeah.
It definitely doesn't hurt. But yeah, so there was a lot of hard work and effort that went into making this place like a good place for rehabilitation for these people, which is really good considering the treatment that we know goes on in so many of these places. And there was also like so much space like on the land for exercise and leisure activities and outdoor work and all that other stuff. And so basically the goal was to make this like a park, almost like a park like setting, to create this calm atmosphere for the patients, which is so cool. And I love when people have fun, cool ideas like that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm sure you can imagine it's not going to end that way.
Oh,
It was designed to accommodate 300 patients. And in 1986, the building was actually declared a National Historic Landmark. So that's how it's been able to stand this whole time, being
okay.
renovated and stuff. Because it is so old. And the original building is still standing. So
Yeah. Hmm.
pretty crazy. But yeah, as I said, and as you can imagine, as with most asylums back in the day, things don't always go as they plan. They get some bad doctors up in there and they're performing like electroshock therapy on patients who don't need it, which end up permanently messing up the patients or even killing them in some cases. And then, of course, the typical overcrowding becomes an issue. Like I said, it was meant for 300 patients, and in the end, the Buffalo State Hospital was struggling to accommodate over 3,000
Oh
patients.
my God.
So,
See,
um,
why did these places always do that?
that's
Just
what I'm saying.
overpopulate.
Right. Like, it's just because people see how well it works for some people when there's 300 in there. And they're like, okay, yeah, everybody, let's send our family members to this place. And then there's no room.
See, and I think it has to do with it's got to do with like greed or something because it's like they can just deny people and say no, you can't come here, right? Like
I guess
but they just want their
in,
money or what?
I, see, that's what I don't know. But then in some cases, like, for example, if you're a criminal and like you plead guilty by reason of insanity, you're sent to a place like this. And
Well, that's true. That
so,
part
like,
of it, it's like a
yeah,
little bit more out of their,
out of their
you
hands.
know,
Yeah.
out of
I
their
don't
hands.
know. I don't know. I
But
mean,
like,
it had to be greed, I would have to say. Because why else? Also, why are we not just making these places bigger?
right. Yeah.
Like, maybe let's have in mind, maybe let's shoot for 1,000. And if we have 300, that's fine. But I guess hindsight is always 2020. Um, but yes, I'm sure you can imagine the asylum was eventually closed due to the overcrowding. Um, but yeah, like I said, it is still the building itself intact today as a national landmark. So once, like on the day that it was determined and declared a national historic landmark, they had this whole plan. So it was this whole 7-year conservation project, and they began immediately as soon as they declared it the national landmark. And they were updating some of the buildings without changing as much as possible. Um,
Of course.
yeah, yeah. So they start the updates, and there were a couple of new buildings added on, as well as some buildings were demolished to the ground, such as the Central Administrative Building. That one was one that was demolished. But the buildings that did remain, you can, you'll have to go to our Instagram to see pictures. It's giving Royal Palace vibes. It looks
Oh,
like a castle. It is
okay.
beautiful, honestly. Like, I want to rent out the whole place and just pretend like I own it for a weekend
Oh my gosh. I
type
need to look this
vibe.
place up.
Yeah, it's really pretty. Um, so definitely go see our Instagram for that one. But yes, so since the asylum closed down and they have built all these new buildings and they're just like empty, they're like, what are we gonna do with it? Obviously, somebody buys the land and it opens up as Hotel Henry, which is this
Hmm.
very fancy hotel. And so the fact that it was an abandoned asylum, it actually drew a lot of people in to see, because not only did they just already know the fact that it used to be an asylum, they actually offered tours of parts of the complex that had remained untouched if you stayed here.
So there's parts of it.
Yep. Parts of it
Oh,
have not been, now parts of it have not been untouched. I mean, have not been touched since. Some of it has. It's kind of confusing. It's just kind of like on a building to building basis, but there's like so many buildings I was not getting into each one. Kind of like your story, which is
yeah.
weird.
I'm looking at the pictures right now. This place is beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Like, I would never have imagined that place. I mean, I say I never would imagine it as an asylum, but it also kind of looks exactly like a movie asylum, you
Yeah,
know?
no, it does. It does. But I mean, it also looks like a hotel too. I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah,
get
it
it.
really does. It really does. Um, yeah. So obviously, it's not that hard to imagine with. Oh, okay. Hold on. Also, I forgot to mention, the Hotel Henry. It's very bright. It's luxurious. It's a modern hotel on the inside. So everything looks like 2020. Imagine 2023, like modern architecture, but then like it's on some really historic land. And what girl math or mysteries, myths, and legends math does that add up to? Nothing but ghosts, as you can,
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
sure you guessed,
obviously, yeah.
obviously. Yeah, it said that the ghosts of former patients of the asylum roam the halls and the grounds frequently. Now, where do you think their favorite place to be is, Savannah, on the grounds?
Um,
Just a quick guess.
I,
I haven't
I,
I haven't mentioned where, so
oh,
it
okay.
would be hard to guess. But I'll go ahead and tell you. Their favorite
Okay.
place to be seen, the ghosties, the tunnels.
Oh,
Of course there's
the
tunnels.
tunnels. Oh my God. Why did I not think that there was? I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so yeah, there's
The
always
tunnels. Oh
seems
my
to be
God.
tunnels in these places, and the tunnels were used to, obviously get from building to building without having to go outside, and this did include moving bodies without being seen outside. So
Yeah, they always do. They
they
always
do.
do.
They gotta hide them. The public doesn't like death. They don't like to deal with it, so they have to hide. And that's where a lot of these ghosts hang out. So I'm like, that's probably where they last were, more than likely, and that's why they're down there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, all the buildings are connected through the tunnels, which are always haunted in my opinion. No tunnel is not haunted in my personal mind. um,
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, we have the typical reports of footsteps when nobody's walking around, whispers and the sounds of people talking. People have claimed to capture orbs, especially in the tunnel, but at the same time, you know how we feel about orbs. Debatable.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's dusty down there. Just saying. It's old.
I
It's
know.
very
Yeah.
old.
Orbs
They,
are just always questionable because
yeah,
it's like, is that just your camera?
right. Or is it dust? Or is it a particle? I don't know.
Right.
It could be
Mm-hmm.
literally my scalp skin, you know?
Yeah.
That's disgusting, but it could be. Um, so yeah, but there are a little bit more strange occurrences other than the typical haunting. So one time there was a young woman who broke into this abandoned asylum before it was turned into a hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she said that she didn't actually see anything, but what it actually like scared her was the feeling. Um that she felt. That when she
Oh.
like entered the building that would eventually become the hotel, the main building, um, she got this overwhelming feeling of like wanting to die, like so
Oh my
bad.
God.
Which, and she said it was like very, very intense, and it was like the only thing that she could think about, no matter how hard she tried to not think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously she did what she needed to do and immediately left.
Yeah.
So thank goodness. But that makes me so sad because that
Yes,
just
that's
means like
really
the
scary.
energy
Uh-huh.
in there, like people just wanted to die. That's,
Yeah.
oh, it breaks my heart.
I know, and it's like probably a mix of their like, their mental issues they already had,
Oh,
and
of
then
course.
also the like treatment maybe?
The treatment
Like,
and then the overcrowding. Yeah, of
yeah.
course, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
not to mention also like all of the people who were patients in this facility, their families more than likely dropped them off never to return, never to see them again.
That's so
Because they
sad when I
were
think
like
about
a
that.
quote
Oh my
unquote
God.
burden, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so they're like, we're alone, we're mentally not well, probably physically not well, and now all the conditions are 10 times worse. So it's just, it's just horrible. Absolutely horrible. But moving along to somebody else's story, there was a girl named Natalie. And so Natalie and her boyfriend, this is once it has became Hotel Henry. And they had heard the stories and they were like, we want to go stay at Hotel Henry. So they arrive and they said that the front desk people were really polite, very nice to them. So at the time, they heard the legends and stuff surrounding this place. They wanted to go. However, they were both in college and they were both under 21. So legally, if you know, you can't book a hotel room unless you're 21. Um, but
Okay. I mean, does that vary state to state, right?
I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe
I
not.
I
I feel like
that get
most
used
states,
to, but not anymore. I don't think.
yeah, like most areas would have that law anyway,
Yeah,
so.
because I just remember like when we were in college and we were trying to like book spring break places. Like most places, you had to be 21, and we were looking
Yeah.
in multiple different states.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've heard also like 25.
yeah, I some people say that or even 26. But
Yeah.
hotels overall, and some of that is for like Airbnbs and stuff like
Oh,
that.
true. Yeah.
But hotels, 21, I'm pretty sure is like the cutoff.
Okay. Yeah.
But the front desk staff, they were kind of able to work them a deal. And basically, they were like, if you pay more money, we'll give you a room for the night. And so obviously,
Okay.
Natalie and her boyfriend were like, yeah, perfect. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Of course.
Yeah, so they got sent to room 116 on the first floor. And when they got in their room, they realized that they had asked for one bed, but they got a two-bed room. But since they were already like giving them a room when they shouldn't be, they were like, we're not gonna go back and ask.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's good. They check out this room. It's all fancy, and it even came with this huge bathtub, with which Natalie noticed immediately, and she was like, "Girl, I'm taking a bath." Personally, me, unpopular opinion, I
Yeah.
don't like baths, and I
Oh.
certainly would not take one in a hotel.
What?
But that's just me.
I
I don't
mean,
like baths in general though.
if it's like one of those fancy ones, like what she's talking about, like
It
I
probably is
probably
like a
would.
claw. Is that
I
what it's
mean,
called? Claw
yes, I
something
do. I
foot.
do get like the feeling that like, okay, what if it's not clean? But
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It might be worth it.
it might be. I don't know. I just don't like sitting there in lukewarm water. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even like
See,
baths just like on my own.
whenever I take a bath, I mean, the bathtub I have is like not a big one, but
Mm-hmm.
my mom has a big one, so I would use hers. I've used it a few times, and basically the key is like you fill it up so you're like, submerged, and then you keep the water like burning hot, and when it gets cold, you just put the water hot again.
Oh,
But
okay.
then, but I mean, that is, you know, it
See, but
it
then I feel like
can,
I'm just like sweaty,
oh no, it can like
and I'm
overheat
like,
you. Like,
yeah, I feel like I get suffocated but then you also don't want to be too cold sitting in bath water, you
I
know?
know, yeah.
It's
See,
complicated.
I like when it's like a hot tub vibes,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
I mean, I love a hot
But
tub.
it like yeah, no, I'm taking it back. I do kind of agree with you on the no baths thing because like
Yeah.
now that I think of it, every time I do like take one, it is just not the best experience. You know,
Right.
it's
Like it
not what
doesn't
you think it's
ever,
going to
it
be.
never lives up to what you think it's going to be in your head. And I think that's
Yeah.
why I don't like it.
I think that's yeah. Yeah.
Also, though, me, whenever I do take a bath, if on the rare occasion that I do, I will absolutely scrub that tub before I get in it because
Well, yeah,
I
that
know how
too.
disgusting I am, and I'm so sorry. I don't clean my bathroom enough. I don't. The bathtub, I don't.
Yeah.
And so if I'm sitting down there taking a bath, I gotta scrub it, and there is no way you're gonna catch me scrubbing a hotel bathtub.
Well, true.
But
True.
I do understand the foot club like wanting to take a bath in that because that's the bougie,
It's booze,
expensive.
yeah. You have
I
to.
get it. I do. Just wouldn't be me. But anyway, back to Natalie. She gets in the bath, whatever. She has a great bath and she loves that, whatever. So good for her. Amazing. Then her boyfriend goes in the bathroom and he's just taking a shower. He's not taking a bath. He's me in the situation.
Hmm.
And while he's in the shower, he, all Natalie hears is boom, 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 bang, 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 pim, clow.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
exactly that, actually.
Okay.
And he fell in the shower. And obviously she goes, checks on him. And he said it felt like somebody was straight up behind him and pushed him over so much so that he thought that Natalie might have done it, but then realized like she wasn't in there.
What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay,
That's
that's
crazy.
crazy. And I'm like, did he just slip? Did he think that? Knowing, because they had the stories in their head, like maybe he just thought that. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so he was okay though. He didn't get severely hurt. Luckily. So after showering, they decide to go roam the halls and explore. And they describe that the worst floor energy that they felt was on the fourth floor, and nothing really happened too much other than it just felt really heavy on the fourth floor, and all of the doors were locked. Whereas like on the first floor and the other floors, they could kind of go in and out of rooms, not like hotel rooms, but like just like a random like a study hall room, like an office space room, like they were unlocked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when they got up to the fourth floor, all of the doors were locked. So they found that to be weird. Um, but they did say that overall, that was kind of all that happened on their trip, and that they found it to be far less haunted than they expected it to be. Which, when I read the story, I was honestly disappointed. But then I was like, no, I gotta share this because we need the stories that aren't always like, oh, here's a ghost who did the craziest thing to me ever. Like this is a real, like, I actually do believe these people because they're not trying to over embellish their story. They're like, that's kind of it,
I mean, yeah. But yeah, true.
I mean, I respect the honesty. I do.
It does make it more believable.
For sure. For sure. So now, just because nothing too ghostly happened on that couple's trip does not mean that more haunted things have not happened here. um, what's interesting is that the ghost activity seems to only really spike when they are doing the renovations on the building. Which, I mean, makes sense, obviously. We hear that all the
Hmm.
time. So, most of the ghost stories that come out of this place are actually coming from construction workers who are working on this place. Which is crazy to me because I imagine construction workers to be these like big, burly, strong, manly men, you know?
Yeah.
And, and that's what they were and are mostly, while they're working on this place. Many construction workers claim that they would hear a person screaming out for help, so obviously they would stop what they were doing and like try to go find whoever was screaming for help. And when they stopped, they looked around and nobody was there. And this would just keep happening. It would just keep disrupting what they were doing. And obviously they were going to stop every time somebody's screaming help because they're like, okay, we're just not seeing them or hearing them right, you know?
Yeah.
They're like,
Hmm.
but somebody needs help. but nobody was ever there.
Interesting.
So I'm like, okay, these ghosts are smart. They're they're really trying to stop the renovations from happening.
Right, yeah.
So not only that, many of the construction workers' tools would go missing while they were working, never to be seen again. So
Oh.
who is even to say where these tools are?
They're really just trying so hard to stop this. They're
Yeah,
taking all their
please,
tools.
they're like, stop. Um, and some of the construction workers even say that they would see shadow figures running around, and specifically on the upper floor. So that's interesting because that would be the fourth floor, which is,
Okay.
even though that couple didn't have a lot of hauntedness going on, that is the floor that they said that they just had the worst vibe about, which I find very interesting. So yeah, all of these things that I'm saying, they still happen today, especially when there is renovations going on. But the hauntings actually they seem to be less frequent unless there is stuff going on. Now I do want to make a big disclaimer here, okay, to kind of end this off. So the Richardson Hotel, which is what it is today as we are sitting here, they are partnered with the Erie County Anti-Stigma Coalition to end the conversation that spirits might be haunting their location. So let me break this
Oh.
down. Let me just break it down a little bit. So, like, it's a good thing. It's positive that the hotel and this coalition, they are partners, okay? Because this coalition, they do a lot of great work with dealing with, like, the stigma and stuff behind mental institutions and the way that we can use them now for good. So I understand what they're doing, by being like, first of all, the treatment that happened back then, wrong. We shouldn't have done it. We should have been better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if these mental patients actually are ghosts, like, and I know this is like an out there subject, but like, if they really are, like, we don't want to deny them actually being there. Yeah, I'm not trying to hurt the ghostie's
I
feelings.
mean, I mean,
But
you're right.
that's
Like,
my
I don't
personal
know.
opinion. That's my
So
personal
what? They're
opinion.
just trying to like disregard and like stop talking about how they were treated and stuff?
They're
And
like,
like the fact
they're
that
just
they could
like,
be ghosts.
no, they're not ghosts. They are not here anymore. The asylum is separate from this hotel. Like, it's not the same. Um, but
See, I like hotels that, like haunted hotels and haunted places that embrace the
me
ghosts.
too.
Like,
Me
why are they
too.
trying to like shut out the
I
ghosts?
know, and I don't really know. All I know is that it has to do with the current owners, like, not wanting to even play around with the idea that this place is haunted, even though there's been so much death and trauma that's happened here. I mean, like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, but they don't appreciate you going in there, and like, they don't want ghost investigations. So like, I mean, we could go stay here, but like,
So this place is not gonna have an episode of Ghost Adventures then.
I didn't look, to be fair, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Unless, well, to be fair though, it only was switched over to the Richardson in 2023, so it's possible they could have went before. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
We'll have
maybe.
to look that up and see if they have an episode. But yeah,
Yeah.
that is the Hotel Henry.
Wow.
Crazy. Crazy. First of all, never heard of an asylum turned into a hotel, but also never heard of a hotel like adamantly denying that they're not haunted when there's evidence and
I
proof.
know, like
Like,
I mean, maybe I've heard of like hotels that just don't embrace it, but like
yeah, but like
adamantly like
deny,
no, there's
like,
no
no.
ghosts.
Yeah, never heard of that. So interesting. I don't know, but
Seems a little
it
suspicious,
seems
maybe,
right. Like, that screams to me like this place is definitely haunted.
Right,
Like,
exactly. Like you guys know
you're
something.
kind of doing the opposite of what you want to do by saying that, but to each his own, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely go check out our Instagram to see pictures from our stories this week.
Yes.
And go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please. But other than that, I don't really have anything else for you guys this week. What about you, Savannah?
Yeah, I guess we can wrap it up.
Okay, well then I suppose we will. See you guys next week.
Cue the music.